It's time for the underdogs of Total War Warhammer 3 multiplayer, armies of Grand Cathay. Led by the dragons and relying on harmony with a good mixture of ranged missile and melee troops, Cathay is the next army we're going to have a look at and see how to construct a basic list to get you started in ranked domination. I'm Chris, and this is Game Chambers. Now we're going to have a bit of a look at what we want to bring initially with Cathay, just to learn the faction and get through a few of your first multiplayer games. Now, Cathay does have a reputation of being currently the worst faction in multiplayer, and that may actually be true, but they are also extremely difficult to use, and their builds are very reliant on what you will be running up against. So bringing something generic is going to be a little bit difficult, but we're going to give it a go, and I'll talk about what we're doing as we go. So first thing we want to do is the same as our other guides. We want to start off with our capture weight. Now, Cathay, you don't have a whole lot of good options. You've got your 4 different types of infantry here, all of your missile infantry, and your one construct, your terracotta sentinel here. So depending on your matchup will depend upon what you want to bring usually, but Jade Warriors are a good starting choice. So we're going to go with 4 of them, and probably let's go with 4 of our spearmen and a terracotta sentinel. So this thing is going to be super resilient. It's going to hold a point the same as any of your infantry do, and all of your infantry are also going to hold the point quite well. Now, we might actually drop some of these back because we do want to put some ranged units in, but we'll see how we're going. Now, for a good, cheap, reliable lord, we're going to go with Miao Ying. And like we do with everything, we're going to start by stripping her back completely. Now, to get us started, we want Talents of the Night because you can use this in human and in dragon form. And because it is so useful, we might want to consider Earth Blood as well, especially since we got the terracotta. So we're going to grab those 2. Leave everything else blank. For now, we might come back and pick up Arcane Conduit and Life Bloom because they're both extremely useful, but we'll see how many points we have left. Now we need some mobility, something to reach out and help us at other points. So depending on the map, we might change our decisions here, but a cannon is a good choice to start with. And we want to start with probably a couple of units of cav, so we'll grab 2 peasant horses. And what we might do here is drop back a couple of spearmen, just so that we can fit in a peasant archer, who will then go along with our front line, simply to provide harmony. And that might be a reasonably generic sort of start. There'll be some lists you won't want the terracotta, there'll be some factions you don't want the grand cannon, sometimes you want to bring in halberds instead of these warriors, sometimes you want to bring lancers instead of the horsemen. But this will be something nice and simple, generic to get you started. We've got 100 gold left, so we are going to can't afford the Arcane Conduit, so we're going to grab the Life Bloom. So that means every time we cast a spell, we're going to heal everyone. For our reinforcements, we want to bring in some more mobility, and we're going to start bringing in our ranged assets. So we'll get all our capture weight first. Now, for our ranged assets, initially, we're just going to stick with peasant archers and probably 1 crane gunner for now, and we might leave it there. So depending upon the faction that we're up against, we'll modify it and add more to it as we go. So you can see I actually have Grand Cathay lists in here versus pretty much everything. I actually record them with my win-loss ratios once I've settled on a build, just to see how they go. And you can see the Nurgle one that I thought I'd settled on, I lost its first one, so we're back to testing for that. The ogres we're still testing, so still trying to work out those builds. But we'll call this one a Grand Cathay starter, something along those lines, and we'll save it there. All right, so we've got a bit of a generic list. Let's go and see if we can find a match on the ladder and give it a go. And we'll talk about how we're going to modify it for our opponent, and then we'll talk about how we're going to play it within the match. Okay, so we found ourselves a match. DVD, King of Atolia. Alright. Might be in for a bit of a fight here. Member of the DBD clan. And we are going to take our generic army no matter what, because that is the whole point. And we're going to go with, let's go with a bright yellow Celestial Loyalists faction. Why not? And lock in our race. We're up against Khorne, so this is going to be pretty rough. I don't expect to actually win. There we go, we got the bug where we can't see our saved lists again. Alright. let's clear it up. We'll see if we can rebuild what we had. So we had Miao Ying. We ended up with Life Bloom, didn't we? A couple of them. We had a cannon. We had one of them. Had a couple of them, and we had some of these guys. What are we missing? Terracotta. There we go. Reinforcements. We had a couple of them. What else do we have? The rest of our peasants. We had a couple of peasant archers. So against Khorne on crossing the Sea of Claws, we can make use of a cannon here. That's fine. Usually I don't bring a cannon against Khorne. I do like to go a little bit more infantry based, a little bit closer packed. We're going to stick with the crane gunners. We'll actually bring in some Iron Hails, bring in some Jade Warrior halberds, 2 Jade Lancers. I might grab some more Jade Lancers, maybe a Celestial Crossbow. I've used up. Okay, so Jade Lancers are quite good at handling the Khorne mobility. They will lose one-on-one to Fleshhounds, but they can get into the position quickly and save your troops from Fleshhounds, from Furies, that sort of thing. The Crane Gunners are exceptional at dealing damage to most things on the Khorne roster. You just have to keep them alive. Celestial Dragon Guard fight quite well. It's a very good, strong holding unit to bring in sort of late game. And the Iron Hail Gunners, again, they're really good against most things on the Khorne roster. Just kind of difficult to keep alive and protected, especially from Furies. Whereas with Halberds are an armor-piercing melee unit that will do well against a lot of things on Khorne roster, except for their infantry. So you do have to support them in the infantry battles. And we want to try and make sure we maintain harmony and keep everyone together here. And Miao Ying will be able to heal our forces and use Talons of the Night to kill off a lot of the Khorne stuff. So King of Atolia is ready. We're ready. Let's go in and see how we go. Now, you could have brought Longmars here, which is not a bad choice depending on how proficient your opponent is with his Furies. Longmars will kill Furies one-on-one, but they will eventually get dragged down because the Furies can keep being summoned, and all the Khorne player has to do is summon Furies and right-click on your cannon. You then have to make sure that you're on the ball with your Longmars to protect it. So it's a lot harder to protect range units from Furies than it is to use them to take them out. So on this map, because we've got a cannon, we want to position the cannon around here, and what that'll do is it'll cover these 2 points, and we can use it to fire. We might even move it this way a touch if we get a chance, depending on where Khorne goes. We're going to push the majority of our infantry into the middle here, and we're going to send just 2 of our spears over here. I'm not going to send anything at all to this point, unless it looks like we're going to have an opportunity to at some point later on. Okay, let's form a bit of a group. Peasant Horsemen are going to go in the middle. Their job is just to slow Khorne down from getting to point 2. Not sure. Should be able to make a bit of a box here. Something like that. The archers in the middle. We might actually send one of the spears forward too. You and you in that box. Now, when you're playing Cathay, they've got this thing down here, formation attack. It's very good practice to make sure you turn that off. So the B key on your keyboard, or click on down here. That'll prevent you from having to worry too much about them being in formation attack. Formation attack will make the unit less useful. So once I do a full guide, I'll sort of explain that a bit more. We want the cannon around here. See, it's covering that walkway. It's sort of covering over this way. Put that in a locked group. We want this formation here. We'll have... Why are you not in the group? You're in 2. I can mess with my group here, aren't I? You can be 3. You can be 4. You can be 5. You can be 6. Alright. King of Atolia is ready to go. Let's ready up and see what we're up against. So move this formation forward. Oh.
Follow my commands precisely and without hesitation.
What do we got?
Victory is assured.
Okay, we got double Bloodthirster. Stacks of Furies. So you can see lots and lots of Furies. He's come with a massive air force.
Mistress of storms.
So we're just going to have to box up in this point down here and expect our cannon to die. I don't expect to get much value at all out of this. So we're just going to try and shoot the dual warriors. You might think as a cannon you're better off shooting these large targets, but they can dodge, and every cannonball is going to kill a couple of those dual weapon warriors. So I'm a bit slow on my reinforcements here. We want to bring in probably some of these, combine with them, turn formation attack off, and move on in. Okay, we're going to just let our cannon die. I'm quite happy to let those Furies come in and just die to it. We're just going to fight for the points. Maybe we'll put some damage on the Bloodthirster. Just let these Furies fly around us. We don't want to bother trying to engage them at all. Get our Cav in. And we will charge into them. We're not going to bother fighting them with the spears and the halberds. The Jade Lancers fight them. We might send these guys over here just to engage with the... Alright, if the Bloodthirsters come in, we'll swarm into them here. And we will summon in Ironhail Gunners if they're going to... Oh, he hadn't landed yet. That's probably too soon to summon them. Yep, that was a mistake. I should have waited till they'd landed. We'll move them forward to that point. Sentinel can move that way. Might summon some spears on here as well, just to fight these big guys. Alright, why are these spears here fighting? Keep moving that way. Okay, just run down whatever you can there. Oh. Don't want her in the air. Why are you so far out? Get in there. Okay, cannon's gone, but no big deal. Happy to leave them in there too. I'll even send the Cav out that way. Alright, we get some more elite halberds come out that way. Get that coming in there. Alright, we got a nice blob of Chaos Warriors coming this way. Okay, send them home. So we don't care about this. We're just going to let them go. Keep the Jade Lancers out this way. Miao Ying, let's drop this on halberds, not on the dual weapon warriors. Keep moving that way. We'll bring in some more Cav. That Cav in a group. Alright. Alright, Miao Ying, come back to the box back here. Okay, so what are these Bloodthirsters going to go for? That really matters. So what we might do, once we can afford it, we'll get a Jade Halberd and just send him out over that flank. Just about afford it now. There we go. We're just going to send them out over here. Everything else heads on to this point. So he's going for the Terracotta. Good play. Jade Lancers need to come in. Oh, the peasants rallied. Oh, we'll bring them this way. So that's a bit of a bug there on the Bloodthirster trying to land. So we've got the Terracotta. Might have put that a little bit too close. What we're going to do is now we're going to bring these archers back as soon as we see the summon come down. Because he's going to come in, he's going to summon his cultists. No, is he going to do it? We'll bring him back anyway. And we'll bring in the Crane Gunners now to help out with shooting there. Okay, get these halberds over this way. I'm going to drop down the heel over that huge blob there. Crane Gunners opening up there. Okay, so we've captured this point. Now we just need to keep our eye on the middle. I'm dropping a cannon now, because that'll get some attention back here. And the cannon will help us be able to deal with some of the tougher infantry. Buff our troops in here. We're going to have to send all this home. Okay, so we don't want you fighting the Jade Warriors to form up there. Here comes the Furies, just to try and kill us off. Yep.
Cannon.
Disengaging! Horseman!
Send you all home. Which is okay. We're not too stressed about that.
Bring in harmony!
Execute them.
Oh, nice fat heal on that. Get these archers moving around. 'Cause it looks like he's trying to get onto them. There's the gate going down.
Move as wind! Attack in unison!
Get the cavalry in.
Jade Lancers!
Let's all kill these off while we can.
Green gunners.
Cavalry! Stone and steel!
Just want you to sit there.
Jade Lancers!
Brian, break. Need you to break.
Aid me.
You guys.
Zhenyang
What's going on over here?
Move in
Still
formation.
fighting. Good. Get some more cav in here.
Jade Lancers.
They can see that we lose the you lose your ranged assets pretty much immediately. Okay, so they didn't get to retreat, so we'll just ride them down here.
Stone and steel!
And those units form up there. You can stay there. Do I need more help in the middle? Ying's probably going to be enough. The 2 cav units are probably enough as well. Let's save up for a third.
Order and balance.
Yeah, we'll bring you back too.
Seeking Cathay's foes!
How's our winds going?
Jade Lancers.
Get our mobility down in here.
As one for the Moon Dragon.
So you can see he's actually moved his warhounds away. So now we can start capping that point. We're going to save until we get the Celestial Dragon Guard here.
Stone and steel!
Our cavalry got caught out, no big deal. So we're actually giving our opponent here a bit of an advantage in what's the point? In victory ticket, in supplies.
We shall
But we're not too worried about that. We're going to have to save up for another AoE.
Shenyang's faithful!
So you guys just shoot,
Attack in unison!
charge back and forward. You're probably strong enough to come back to the fight. Celestial Dragon Guard we want to bring into the middle here. Now, I think I forgot to turn formation attack off somewhere along the line, so we're going to do that again. Okay, he's going in onto the terracotta. That's fine. We're going to let him have that actually. If we can. So we haven't. If we hit 3,000 before he hits 1,000, we'll be at that victory ticket breakpoint, which will be very nice. That means we'll only need to own a single point. So at that point, it becomes a lot easier for us to fight and defend. Okay, we'll come in here. We're not going to beat Warhounds
The celestial
and then
faithful.
back. We'll come down here with what we've got. Keep the cav.
Bringing harmony. The storm wind blows.
Okay, so are we going to do it? Yep. So we only need to hold 1 point now. So we do fight for 2,
Iron hail the gunners!
and we fight to hold 2,
Rooting out
but
evil.
we don't.
The storm dragon.
Let's drop a heal on that, just to keep it fighting for a bit longer.
Is absolute.
Get these Celestial Dragon Guard into the middle. How's this fight over here going? So we broke them off.
Move in formation!
Bring these in, because this will attract attention.
And the realm.
And we'll bring these guys in, because they're fast,
Peasant
and we can get them over to this flank.
Seeking Cathay's foes!
That's what we want. Okay, so he's going to come in on us here, which is exactly what we want him to do. We want him to be doing things that are not fighting over the point.
Cathay's foes.
So anything that's not earning victory tickets at the moment is in our favour, because we've crossed that break point. We only need 1 victory ticket to win.
Jade warriors! Naturally!
So this, I'm not going to even engage this over here. If I engage these Chaos Warriors, we might start losing it.
Defenders of Cathay!
Okay, so how are we doing? That's under control. Why are you guys not fighting there? Terracotta, get yourself over here. Let's bring the horses in from here and send them this way.
Celestial fury!
Can I drop a heal on Miao Ying?
Oh, the tempest.
Keep this cav moving. Get those swords into the middle. Charge the cav in there. Okay, you're on guard mode. You guys on guard mode? You're not. Keep shooting there.
Celestial fury!
Alright. Where's the cannon? Is it actually still routing somewhere? Oh, there it is. That's a bit of an amateur move, so
The dragons
I'm going to get these on the point. Going to get this on the point. I just want to keep it from ticking over. So we're just going for a victory point win here. So we don't have to win the melee fights, which is why we haven't been worried about all these engagements. Because Khorne is going to win these engagements. And you can see, damage-wise, he's in front. That's going to hurt. We're going to probably lose our Celestial Dragon Guard here to that sword. Looks cool though. But yeah, that hurts. But we're not going to lose this point anytime soon. We might lose this one, so let's just reinforce that middle. That's not going to reinforce, that's my bad. Yeah, chase them off. Get some more cav in. Chase them off. Okay, crane gunners are back online. We're just going to throw these at that point just to keep him busy. Not send them home actually. So Dragon Guard didn't go too badly out of that fight. So we can break them. Yep, they're back online. Let's get a cannon online because that's going to attract some attention for sure. And all we have to do is hold this point. The Furies are coming for our cannon. These things have got no capture weight. This is exactly what we want our opponent to do. So the ranged, you can see I'm bringing the ranged in, but the range doesn't matter now. This is not going to win me the game. The fact that I'm holding these points, or this point here, is going to win me the game because I've passed the victory ticket breakpoint. Anything that happens now needs to be about capturing points. And so that's where we are going to win this game. So we're just going to land here, just because we can't fight that Bloodthirster. But again, we don't need to. The thing we're doing here is just holding the point. And you can see here we're going up to 4,900 victory tickets. And so this wouldn't win against necessarily all Khorne players. A lot of Khorne players are going to play very differently to how King of Atolia has here. But the theory behind playing and building the list is the same. You don't want to bring too much in the way of ranged, because Khorne is going to shut it down. You want to bring a little bit of range because you need it for A, harmony, and B, because it does attract that attention. So every single Fury summoned is one more unit that's not going to be capping. And they generally overinvest in trying to kill your ranged. So let's have a look at some values. Actually, that Terracotta Sentinel fought quite well against the double Bloodthirster. I'm quite impressed with it. Cannon definitely didn't pay for itself, but that's not its job. We weren't here to do serious damage to our opponents. And you can see the cavalry does good work, but that's about it. Nothing else paid for itself. And I put that in quotation marks because we still won the battle. Now, have a look at the Khorne army just because it's fun to see the value. And the Furies, they're just, like I said before, they're fire and forget. You summon a Fury, you right-click a ranged unit, and you will remove that ranged asset and take away some of your opponent's attention. It's just how the unit works. It's unengaging, and it's hard to try and protect your assets from it. But for the most part, as you can see here, your best bet is just not to bother. So there you have it. That's a quick guide to building a generic starting Grand Cathay army, taking them into a ranked battle, and see how you go from there. Anyway, keep an eye on the channel. We will be posting more guides. I have a full Cathay guide for ranked in the works. That should be coming out within the next week or so, and I will be gradually putting out small beginner guides to all the factions. So let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any factions you want to see next, and please hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.